this is Stacy, and you're watching my channel, Spookums, which is everything spooky. Today we got spooky books. I definitely get in slumps where I don't read near as much as I wish I did. Just a tip, if you're like me and you sometimes lack inspiration to read, go watch book review YouTube channels, because I started watching them and I blew through like 3 books super fast. I actually started watching Jordaline Reads. That's her YouTube name. I think her channel is called The Right Book, but I'm not sure. Just look up Jordaline Reads. I'm subscribed to her. Yeah, so I started watching those, and I didn't even really, only one of the books is one of the ones that I've been seeing on everybody's that recommended, but just hearing people talk about books kind of made me want to read. So I'm super happy that I've read 3 books this month. Okay, not this month. This is like January 5th. Between this month and last month. Okay, so the first one I read was In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. And you can see that. This was a pretty intriguing cover to me. I've picked it up like a dozen times at a bookstore. In a Dark, Dark Wood. Would scare me. So being in a dark, dark wood sounded like something that would scare me. I bought it in San Francisco, actually. See, I still got the bookmark in it. At the Booksmith at 1644 Hyatt Street. I think that's how you pronounce that. See my bookmark? Maybe Haight Street. You know, the one that has the famous cross section. Ashbury and Hyatt. Haight. Yeah, it's a great bookstore also. Go there if you're ever in San Francisco. Anyway, so yeah, In a Dark, Dark Wood. It's about a author who lives in London, and she gets an invitation to a hen party, which is a bachelorette party in American talk. And so she gets an invitation to a hen party of her high school best friend that she hadn't talked to in 10 years. And she's like, oh my God, I don't want to go. This is going to be so awkward. And I could really relate to that, just because it would be super awkward to go to somebody's bachelorette party that you haven't talked to in a really, really long time. But she kind of feels... First off, it's really weird that this girl invited her, but then one of her other kind of friends she's still close to is going, so maybe it won't be that bad. She goes to the party, and let's just say that lots of stuff obviously goes down. You find out very early on that she's in the hospital, coming in and out of consciousness, retelling the events of this night. And the police are interviewing her. So that's kind of the premise. No spoilers on this one, by the way. I'm on any of these book reviews. Yeah, so I liked it. It's solid. The ending... Actually, I liked it all. I liked the ending. I don't know. 6 out of 10. I mean, if that sounded interesting to you, definitely read it. But as far as being scary, I didn't think it was scary. Maybe it's not supposed to. Oh, no, it is. Reese Witherspoon said, prepare to be scared, really scared. Reese Witherspoon commented at the bottom. So it is supposed to be scary. It's not scary, but it's a pretty good book. So pick that up if you want to. So next I read The Keeper by Sarah Langan. I would say this falls very much more in the horror, like it actually has scary stuff in it. I mean, it didn't like scare me, but I feel like it has more scary stuff in it. So this is about a girl and a town. It's about a town that has this huge like paper mill that's recently closed down. And it's got, like, most of the town was probably employed by this paper mill. And I kind of like the idea of, like, the big, empty, like, looming paper mill in as kind of the backdrop for this entire story. It kind of reminds me of what I believe is Night Shift by Stephen King, about the rats in the fabric textile mill thing. I think that's Night Shift. I don't know. So I like that aspect of it. Okay, so I've been corrected. Graveyard Shift is the one with the like fabric where they're cleaning out the basement and there's the rats. There's a movie about it. It's a Stephen King short story. It's in the book called Night Shift. That's where I got that. Anyway, the paper mill in this kind of reminds me of that. Not that there's like rats, but just because it's like closed down and kind of, I feel like it's just, I feel like that's creepy. I feel like that's a creepy setting. So it's about that, and this town is basically just haunted, and also I wouldn't call her the protagonist. Really, our protagonist's sister, I guess, is a girl in the town that is also haunted. She's just... You learn very early on that she had been wronged by her dad, who is now dead. So she's a very troubled girl, and you don't really know what's going on with her, but you do know everybody in the town suddenly starts dreaming about her. And as she appears in kind of the backdrop of a lot of unfortunate events that start happening in the town, it builds a lot of tension, and you feel like the pending doom that she's bringing. Also, this town experiences like torrential rain every year, like streets flooding, so it's just raining horribly throughout the whole novel. I like that about it too. So yeah, it follows multiple different people in the town and kind of their relationship to her, what happened to her, what happens to everybody else, the rain, the paper mill, just, it's all, building the big climax at the end. So I liked a lot of this book. There's like 5 sentences towards the end that try to make you feel sympathetic towards somebody that I don't think that I could ever feel sympathetic for. I can't imagine what else the author's intention could be for these like 5 or 6 lines besides trying to get your sympathy for this person. And there's just no way, I don't think me or any but sane human could ever feel sympathy for this person. So that kind of turned me a little bit off to the book. It's like 5 sentences. Just put a Sharpie over those, and then maybe I'll keep it. The ending, meh, it's okay. I didn't love it, but I thought it was pretty good. If that sounded interesting to you, I'd still recommend it's probably worth a read. So yeah, The Keeper. So the last one that I just finished today, I believe I did see this one on Jordaline Reads YouTube channel, and that's what inspired me. That, and then I watched a few other YouTubers recommended also. So that's what inspired me to get it. It is called Baby Teeth by, man, I was going to look up how to say this and I forgot, by Zoje, Z-O-J-E, Stage. Baby Teeth. Man. So this isn't your typical horror book, but to me this is the most horrific thing ever. It's about, so it switches perspectives between the mom and the little girl. The little girl should be a first grader, but, well, she refuses to go to school. And, she's been kicked out of about 3 of them for things like setting fires and stuff like that. So, yeah, she's basically, the little girl is pretty much a psychopath. She doesn't like her mommy. She thinks her mommy should go away because her mommy divides her daddy's attention and she loves her daddy. So yeah, reminds me a lot of We Need to Talk About Kevin. Since you get some of the mom's perspective too. If you liked We Need to Talk About Kevin, probably give this a read. It's intense. I did think, of course, right before I got to the end of the book, I flipped it over and it said, "You'll be desperate to discuss the ending once you recovered from the shock of it." And I'm like, oh God, what's going to happen? Something big is going to happen. And I wasn't that shocked. I'm not desperate to discuss the ending. Now, some of the other stuff that happens in the books is shocking and stuff, but I don't get what that was about. So that kind of set my expectations a little higher for the ending, and I was like, no. But there's definitely some shocking stuff in this book. So, Little Girl Psychopath. If you liked We Need to Talk About Kevin, well done child perspective. There's a couple things she does that I'm like, I don't care how smart you are. I don't think a kid would do that, but just a couple. I think that's pretty good. All things considered, like the whole book could be that way of her just doing extremely advanced stuff when she shouldn't. But yeah, I guess I rated the first one. I should rate the other two. I'd say the other two were 6 out of 10. I'd say this is 7 out of 10. Baby teeth. Okay, so those are the 3 books I've read lately. Let me know if you have any recommendations. I like anything sci-fi, horror, spooky. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you when I have something else to say. Bye. He's camera shy.